WrestleMania 33 weekend, and this is Jake DeMarco, aka Countdown Ended, coming to you live. Joe Cronin Show is currently landing in Florida for this weekend's Internet Darling show, but I figured I'd go ahead and tackle the WrestleMania 33 preview and prediction show myself. So let's go ahead. I'm hyped. Got Kurt Angle theme playing in the background, getting ready for the WWE Hall of Fame this Saturday. Should be very entertaining. So let's go ahead and get into it. How's everybody doing? Hopefully you're having a great weekend. We've had a very slow, tumultuous, and painful build to this WrestleMania, unfortunately. It hasn't been the most exciting. But I'm thinking this really could be a decent WrestleMania. The more I break it down in my mind and I continue to think of what's to come, I'm actually getting excited. Arguing, what could have come or what should be is irrelevant at this point. This is what we got. This is what they gave us. Let's enjoy it, We'll go ahead. We'll still have the review Sunday night on Joe's channel. He will be back Sunday morning, sometime in the afternoon. So don't worry about that. We'll make sure to catch everybody live. As far as NXT TakeOver goes, I'm going to ask you guys. If Joe is unable to do anything from Florida, I was thinking about going live from my channel. I'm still excited for that show. I'm kind of excited a little bit more for TakeOver than I am for Mania currently. So if you guys want to do something with me, kind of like a thrown together mixed review, go ahead and tweet me. Let me know. I apologize for my past 48-hour Twitter absence. Kind of been going through some stuff. But let's get right into it. So WrestleMania 33, we're going to go ahead. We're going to start with a kickoff show. We have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Now, we have many good and solid contenders in this. We have Big Show, Braun Strowman, Sami Zayn. The list goes on. Even recently added is the, Usos, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, which we'll get into that in a little bit. Not going to spend too much time here. I really think Braun Strowman is going to win this. Seems like the easy pick, and unfortunately, sometimes the easiest picks are the best ones to go with. They telegraphed it well on this past Monday's Go Home show. I think it's going to go ahead and be where Braun and Big Show are the last two men standing. They're going to do a stare down, and we're going to get maybe a 60-second matchup, maybe a little bit longer between these two. Braun's going to eliminate Big Show, and hopefully this will propel him into the future, soaring, because Triple H said in a conference call or interview recently that they have big plans for Braun Strowman, and I'm A-okay with that. So my pick for that match is Braun Strowman. Next, we have Austin Aries versus the current King of the Cruiserweights and champion, Neville. Before this was on the pre-show, I said that Austin Aries was going to win, but now that it's on the pre-show, I'm not so sure. Would they allow the title to change hands so easily on a pre-show? It's kind of a tough choice. Because it's on the pre-show, I actually reversed my decision. I think that Neville's going to win, and at the following pay-per-view, I think it's Payback. I think Austin Aries is then going to capture the title. Neville will find a way to, use a heel tactic to cheat, might I add, but I think that's what's going to happen. Following that, we have the SmackDown women gathering of the, females. I really don't know what to call it. I mean, it's just the women's championship brawl for all, free for all. I mean, seeing Naomi return was a nice surprise. But as we had mentioned before on Joe's SmackDown review, did Naomi just return to not be, overshadowed by the return of Kelly and others that are rumored to show up Sunday night? So it's a bit baffling, makes me wonder. I kind of think, again, they're going to go with the obvious and have either Naomi capture the belt. I have a very slim chance that my pick, Alexa Bliss, would walk out of there. I'd like to see her retain, solidify her that much more as a champion, hopefully go on to a better feud. But I think they're going to go with Naomi. They're in her hometown. They're in, home state, I should say. And I think that's going to be what we end up getting. So the only thing I think is it's going to be memorable from that match is the surprise entrance. Are we going to see, Layla, Kelly, people like this return? There's a lot of buzz going around. So we'll see. And then we also have the Tag Team Championship Triple Threat Ladder match from the Raw side. I've heard both ways that it's going to be on the pre-show, and it's not going to be on the pre-show. I believe it is on the pre-show, though. As of right now, WWE.com had it on the pre-show listing, so Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson versus Enzo Amore and Big Cass, and Cesaro and Sheamus. I'm glad they added a stipulation. I called this weeks ago. They needed it, just the three of them facing off. I think they gel well together. I think that it's, definitely something that'll be exciting and entertaining. It won't be show-stealing match of the night level, but it will be entertaining. So I'm looking forward to see what happens there. I do believe that Enzo Amore and Big Cass are finally going to go over. They never captured the NXT Tag Team Champions. As of this Monday, they would have been in the Raw brand for a year now without really doing anything of note besides talking a lot. And the Smack Talker, Skywalker, and Mr. 7 Foot Tall can't teach that. Need to do something to validate, their run. They haven't accomplished anything of note, feuding with the Dudley Boys, the Vaudevillains. They lost. And I know Road Dogg and others have said wins and losses don't matter, but it does. Because used to be a huge proponent of those two, and they're just, if you can't back up the talk, you're getting stale. They're getting boring. And I think it'd be entertaining to see them with the belts. The promo would certainly be interesting. Maybe they could do something like the New Age Outlaws, where they add that into their intro, kind of like what the New Day did. So, I'm still going to stick with my pick of Enzo and Cass. Next, we move on to the actual pay-per-view. WrestleMania 33 kicks off. I think they're going to do what they've been doing, and starting off with the Intercontinental match. No stipulation in this one, which I find a bit odd. They didn't have Dean Ambrose or Baron Corbin on the Go Home show for SmackDown. A little bizarre. Kind of a odd idea to keep them off. They had a backstage, I don't even want to call it a promo, really, or interview. It was very bizarre. It was childish. They were arguing with each other on Talking Smack. No, you shut up. No, you shut up. It felt like a kindergarten schoolyard fight. And then Dean Ambrose got up and hit the remote and turned Baron Corbin's monitor off. It was stupid. It was just stupid. And I'm the one that liked, Breezy Bella. So to me, to call it stupid, yeah, it was super childish. I hope Baron Corbin wins. I really do. I want him to win here. He's been doing great. I think he's made for bigger and better things. Dean Ambrose hasn't defended the title, I think, in like 60 days, someone said recently. He's not a fighting champion. The Miz did so much more for that title than Dean Ambrose has done. And unfortunately with Dean, this is the same thing we saw when he was the WWE champion. He just wasn't getting the job done. He could be and should be the next Stone Cold Steve Austin. He just needs to be either unleashed and be more unhinged, more crazy, more erratic. I want to see him, like Joe says, sawing dummies privates and ripping through the crowd and destroying stuff and being illogical. I want him to go ahead and, like he was in the Shield, telling Seth, no, stop, don't beat this guy up, so he could be the one to do it. I want to see that irrational behavior back again. So until we see the real lunatic fringe, I'm going to go with Baron Corbin winning this match. Next on my list, I have Chris Jericho versus Kevin Owens. Now, the way I'm reading this, I don't think this is how the card is going to go. I think they're going to be in the middle of the night, this match, or maybe towards the end, even third to last, maybe, to kind of give people a break. And that's a sad thing to say for these two. I honestly think this match has one potential to be like, one of two matches of the night. And I think they're going to do a great job here. The feud has been good. A couple of hits, a couple of misses, but overall I'm excited to see Jericho get his revenge on Kevin Owens. But I am predicting that Kevin Owens is going to come out on top. He's going to go ahead and capture the U.S. title, and since Jericho's staying around for a while longer, this feud is going to continue after WrestleMania. Next, we have the Fatal 4-Way Elimination match for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. We have Bayley, the champion, defending against Charlotte, Sasha, and Nia Jax. Now, people keep saying that they're going to go ahead and it's going to end up with Charlotte being pinned by Nia, and that's going to lead for a feud for them two because Nia screwed Charlotte. She wasn't even supposed to be in the match. But I'm going to change it up a little bit. I think that we're going to end up seeing Nia Jax win the title. Why? I don't know. I like calling out outlandish things. I want to be a little bit different, not agree with everybody else. My record's not going to be impeccable here. I'm probably going to be wrong. I'm sure Sasha will end up winning the belt, and it's going to come down to Bayley and Sasha against each other in the end. But I think Nia could be an interesting champion. Think about it. She has a China-esque feel about her. She could be something special. She's not like most girls. She could be more. She has a certain way about her that I enjoy. Her promos aren't great, but she's not terrible on the mic. But I think because she hasn't been given the proper build to explain her character, her motivations. Pretty much they've booked her like a semi, female version of Hulk Hogan. You come in, you slam him down, you do the leg drop, and you get the pinfall. That's all we've seen from her. How many weeks, did we see her again and again and again squash local talent? That's not what we need. We need to see her in a solid feud. Similar to how we saw her and Bayley in NXT and her and Asuka. Those were great matches. Those were excellent feuds. If done right, she could be a credible heel, and she could make a great Raw Women's Champion. So, I think Nia's going to win. That's my personal pick, but realistically, it's probably going to be Sasha. Moving on, we have John Cena and Nikki Bella versus The Miz and Maurice. Now, it's hard to bet against Cena. It really is. It's like betting against the Patriots, or betting against even more the Harlem Globetrotters. That old Simpsons joke. How did you bet against the Globetrotters? The franchise guy, Mr. All-American hustle, loyalty, and respect, is not going to be here after WrestleMania. He's going to be out to go and film a movie. So it kind of makes sense for The Miz to win. The Miz can go ahead. He's been on a great run. Triple H and many others inside the business said that they think Miz is one of the best right now all around. The promo they had the other night was ungodly amazing. I had to go back and rewind it. I mean, John Cena called The Miz a pussy. And The Miz called out John Cena's flaws left and right. Not just the Total Bella stuff either, but behind the scenes, they were visceral. Just the fact that they had us questioning if it was real was everything that I wanted from this. I enjoyed the, Total Bella bullshit, vignettes that The Miz and Maurice recorded. They made sense, saying, Maurice, you've been collecting a free paycheck. You're just a valet. You're another, just waste of space. And to see her come back, she wasn't the greatest women's wrestler, but she was the Divas champion for a while. So I'm curious. Nikki's only gotten better in the ring, and I'm looking forward to see those two go head to head. I like the way that we didn't see Maurice fight any women's wrestler up to this point. I got to get rid of that Divas thought in my head. It's hard to break old traits, but because we haven't seen Maurice fight yet, it really does make it special. So I'm going to pick that Miz and Maurice go over, but that leads to John proposing to Nikki. I think it was already, I think he might have even already proposed to her, and then they, WWE caught wind and said, oh, keep this hush-hush. He might have done it on Total Bellas, and they said, oh, don't say anything, let's package this up and turn it into an angle at WrestleMania. So the Miz and Maurice are going to go over. I see Miz being a future champion on the SmackDown side this year. He has great things still in store for us. He's a great heel. Now we're going to go on to Shane McMahon versus AJ Styles. No stipulation. And at first I was like, oh, that's real silly. They're not going to make it a last man standing or falls count anywhere. There's no cage. There's no Hell in a Cell. The ring's not on fire. It's not buried alive. There's not an ambulance match. Whatever stupid stipulation you want to throw in there. But then I really thought about it, and you go back and you look at, Shane's history. he hasn't had that many, just straight up wrestling matches. And AJ Styles in that ring, one on one, is the best in the world. He truly is the face that runs the place. So for them to have a straightforward wrestling match, obviously AJ would win. So Shane has heart. He's got some of the worst fists in the business, especially after what we saw with him and The Undertaker last year. But Shane's WrestleMania record certainly isn't anything to scoff at. I mean, he took down his father, took down X-Pac. I don't think he should have lost to The Undertaker the way the stipulation was built last year with him being in control of Raw, but that's, water under the bridge at this point. So I keep going back and forth in my mind, and I could verify, validate, and predict it both ways. I could see Shane coming out on top, and not through straightforward means, though. Either Shane has a plan. Does he have Nakamura come out and help him? Does, someone come and come to his rescue? Does Daniel Bryan get involved and, go ahead and kick AJ to the moon? Or does AJ just destroy Shane and move on? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to predict that AJ Styles wins. It's hard to have AJ lose to Shane and not bury him, I feel. Maybe if they did it creatively, as I said before, you do see a Nakamura entrance or something, some type of interference. But if it is just straightforward, AJ's got this in the bag. Now, here's another one that kind of goes back and forth. Triple H versus Seth Rollins. Again, we've said that Triple H, has to always self-serve his ego, go ahead and make it all about him. So, unfortunately, there he is, yet again, back at Mania. I mean, how many is this for him now? 17, 18 WrestleManias? He's not in the main event, thank Christ, but he's still here. So now we have no match for Samoa Joe. If we see Samoa Joe in the Battle Royal earlier in the night, it might be a swerve to throw us off, but it might also be a sign of things to come. I'm leading to think that Triple H, as everybody's predicted, is going to have Samoa Joe come out, the 2-on-1 attack, the handicap match, and that's when Seth has his buddy, the Demon King himself, Finn Balor, come out and help him. He becomes the equalizer. Seth pedigrees Triple H, which would be a cool moment to see, Mr. Pedigree receive a pedigree, and, goes ahead and receives the pinfall. Now, since it's a non-sanctioned match, is there a pinfall? Is there submissions? Is it just to you beat up your opponent to where they can't get up? It's a little unorthodox. I'm kind of confused, but I think Seth's going to win. But I also originally said that I thought he might lose, and this might go on till SummerSlam and reunite the Shield. Hear me out. It's kind of odd to think that Finn Balor, as everybody's predicted, is going to come out and help Seth Rollins when Seth is the one that injured Finn Balor. Finn was the face back at SummerSlam in their first Universal Championship match. And Seth was the heel at that time. Seth injured and then lamented, nothing. He didn't care. He boasted about it. The fact that he injured Balor was like a check off his list. So it's hard for me to justify that Finn is going to be his savior, is going to come out and make everything better for him. You never know. It certainly could happen, but we'll see. As far as, who's going to defend who, that's one of the things I'm looking forward to the most. I really enjoy Finn Balor. We never got that great debut from him either. Finn Balor went ahead and teased us for weeks. I'm coming to the main roster. I'm coming to the main roster. And then he literally just walked out on that Monday night after the draft. We never got this great reveal. He was just there. He wrestled Roman Reigns, and he went on to SummerSlam. So it was a lackluster reveal and debut for Finn. So I'm hoping that they do something on the grandest stage. That is grand indeed. All in all, though, I think they're going to go with the safe bet, have Finn defend Seth, and Seth goes ahead and defeats the Authority. Next, we have The Undertaker versus Roman Reigns in the "This is my yard, my house" fight. Really a dumb feud, They're fighting over, whose fence it is. It doesn't quite make sense. I know Justin Bailey and others have argued, it's a great build-up. He eliminated him in the Rumble, and now I don't care for it at all whatsoever. I think it's silly. I think it should have been John Cena here, but I picture The Undertaker doing the deeds. He's always been a company guy, and he's always been a mainstay, leader in the locker room. I think he's going to use that, and help try and get Roman Reigns over. If Roman doesn't turn heel in this match, the crowd is going to revolt and hate this. No one wants to see The Undertaker lose. Even when the streak was broken and it didn't really matter if he lost or not, he still continued to win. He beat Bray Wyatt, who we didn't, we thought could have beat the streak to begin with, coming, down the line. And then he beat Shane McMahon when he didn't really need to. No one wants to see The Undertaker lose at WrestleMania. I certainly don't, and I'm sure you don't either. So to think about all this, it's a little disheartening to know that his shoulders are going to be down 1, 2, 3. And especially to Roman Reigns of all people. In his current form, this current iteration of, the big dog, I don't care for him. I'm not an outright Roman hater. I just don't like the way he's portrayed. He sounded confident the other night in the ring when talking to The Undertaker's, message on the Titantron, but we also know that he rehearsed that beforehand too. I think him being so heavily scripted hurts him because he has a hard time remembering lines. That's why he stumbles and stutters at times or doesn't sound so believable. When it comes from the heart, I think we'll end up enjoying him more. If this is the chance, or if they've ever had a chance to turn Roman heel, and they've had many, this is the ultimate one, my friends. This is the creme de la creme, the icing on the cake. The Undertaker gets the Superman punches, the spears, everything. All but the kitchen sink is used, and the Undertaker won't stay down, and that's when he has to cheat to win. And that would be the ultimate heel tactic and turn at the same time for Roman Reigns. I doubt we'll get it, but no matter what, I think Roman's going over. Also here we have Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton for the WWE SmackDown Championship. I think it's still just a WWE Championship, but on the SmackDown side of things. This has been a great build. I've loved every minute of this. It's been weird. It's been awkward at times. It's been silly. It's been stupid. It's been amazing. It's brought every type of emotion of a wrestling fan possible. We all knew that Randy was going to get his comeuppance after doing the job with Brock Lesnar, busting him open at SummerSlam. And that was originally thought to be, a win at WrestleMania, but I think him just winning the Royal Rumble is enough. What do we get if Randy wins the title here? It really doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't really do anything for the brand as a whole, nor does it do much for the title. Yeah, he's been a multi-time champion. There's a bit of prestige there, but I think it's better if Bray retains, because it solidifies Bray as, the new face. He is the new champion, and I think it will finally kind of silence the haters a little bit, saying the ones that says he doesn't deserve it. I think it's going to be a good match. I think hopefully we'll get about 15-20 minutes out of both of them. The entrances should be cool, especially on Bray's side. The Orlando arena is massive, so to see all the fireflies there, that's going to be a cool sight. Also, one thing I wanted to note, it's going to take till WrestleMania 34 for The Undertaker to walk down. Somebody sent me on Twitter an image of Undertaker looking at the entrance ramp, how long it was, and grabbing Vince. Are you fucking kidding me? I guarantee we see the golf cart return like we did for the Royal Rumble for some people, so it'll be interesting, but I'm really excited with the way the set looks so far, seeing all the pictures, the roller coaster. If they do something with that coaster besides just the entrance for the New Day to be the host of WrestleMania, if they use it in a match, or if it's really that much of a spectacle, then I'll be okay with them making everybody say Ultimate Thrill Ride a million times. Finally, we have the match that I couldn't give two flying fucks about. It's all flaming assholes. You got Goldberg, the champion, Universal Champion, going up against Brock Lesnar. I can't even say it with emphasis. That's how little I care. I know that bums a lot of people out. I get criticized for this. I used to like Goldberg a lot, and then recently hearing how he's so miserable, he's not happy, he's tired, he's sore, he's swollen, his family and his children are enjoying the experience, but he's not and just wants to be done with it. That even more verifies my thought of, Brock's going to win here. Goldberg's contract expires the night after Mania anyways. There's been no word about him renewing it. Therefore, yet again, because of contract issues and interviews on the outside, we know essentially what's going to happen in their WrestleMania match. I mean, this is what happened back at WrestleMania 20, 13 years ago. Brock let it slip that he was leaving and, going on to better things. And Goldberg had already said beforehand that he was done. So we knew the result. No one cared. And I kind of feel like that's the same thing here. It's like history repeating itself all over again. Brock's going to win. Brock's going to take the title. I'm not happy about it. Maybe Brock will do something better this time than his previous title run. Who he'll go on to face? Hopefully it'll be Finn Balor. I'll be wrong, and this will just be the stepping stone to bigger and better things. But all in all, I mean, Wyatt and Orton should be good. Roman and Undertaker, I think, is going to surprise a lot of us, myself included. Triple H and Seth, just the mysticism behind it and all the mystery. That is going to be a cool interaction, especially if Samoa Joe and Finn do get involved. Shane McMahon has never disappointed in a match, to me anyways. I've always enjoyed his performances. He's a daredevil. What is he going to jump off of this year? He always goes above and beyond the call of duty. He puts his body on the line. He's like a thinner Mick Foley, No far is too far for him. He has no limits, and he will do all he can to make the person he's up against look like $1 million. So I think him and AJ are going to have a true 5-star match that night. And I'm also really looking forward to Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens, and, Austin Aries against Neville. That's going to be another one that's going to be really, really good. Plus, we have Al Roker, we have, all that stuff, the Hall of Fame. I'm excited about NXT TakeOver, but the one thing that's on everybody's mind is, will the Broken Brilliance, and Matt Hardy and Obsolete Mule, Brother Nero himself, show up to challenge the Usos for the Tag Team Championship there, since they did at one point have an open challenge, or will they get involved in the ladder match, since ladder matches are their thing? Will they not fight at all and just show up? I mean, they're already in Orlando. They only have plans that morning for the tailgate party. We know they're there. Matt was able to trademark the broken gimmick, so everything is not beyond the scope or realm of possibility, They have an affinity for the business. Both brothers loved to entertain. It was never about money for them. It was never about, cashing in or selling out. They, if they wanted to do that, they could have come back a while ago. They just like to entertain. And what better way to entertain and make a huge impact on the business than coming back at the show of shows? So there's a lot to look forward to in Orlando. Hopefully you guys can go ahead, comment below. Let me know what you think is going to happen. Hit me up on Twitter, @CountdownEnded. Let me know what you think I should do for the NXT review. I still haven't spoken to Joe too much about it, but if he's unable to go live, should I do something? Would you guys like to join me? Let me know. And, we'll definitely all be on Joe's channel, @Joe Cronin Show on YouTube. And his Twitter is @JoeCroninJCS. Go ahead and check him out. We'll be live Sunday night on his YouTube channel for the WrestleMania 33 review. So once again, thank you all for joining us. I appreciate it greatly. And I hope you all have a great weekend. Make sure to hit me up, and we'll talk to you soon.